Alright, so here we are. Let everything dry for a little bit. And we can basically see we still have like our full effect here. But when you look at it like from the bottom, it now has that blue, like sort of like a shadowy effect. And what that's doing is it's essentially like simulating like the darkness, like reflecting back up, you know, onto the model. So now we started with the dark and we layer it on here. What we want to do now is, you know, and you won't really see it from the top. You're just going to see, you know, our like rusty kind of dingy effect. But as you kind of tilt it and look at it, like, it's hard because I'm getting the actual lighting effect that we're simulating at the same time as I'm trying to show you, you know, the simulated effect. We're getting the real effect from the light. Because of how it's placed. See, that looks like super blue right there, but then, you know, real blue, not blue at all. But again, because I have to like hold it back over here, so here you can see it's like super blue at that angle, but then here it's not. So that's what we're going for. But now we want to get like our silver, you know, in here. So what we're going to use for that is we're going to switch back over now to like a good quality paint, now that we're not just doing like primer anymore. So we're going to come back through with like a Games Workshop Leadbelcher. But what we need to do, you know, first and foremost obviously is you know, we need to now flip everything opposite of what we just did. So as where we got like the darkest areas are, you know, this like blue color, and then we got like all this rust and kind of dinge in the meantime. What we're trying to do now is we want to come back through and hit like the brightest area. So essentially like this angle right here is the angle we're going for, and then from that angle we're going to get like the brightest color effect. So then when you look at it, you know, on the board, we're going to essentially have simulated the effect that you would also get, you know, from an actual light source. So that's what we're basically going for here. And then that's going to kind of give us like an extra kind of like darkness, extra kind of like bright effect. So for some of these things, I may even prop them up on something like these stairs. I may actually prop them up like how these are, so I can get them all at this perfect like angle basically. That may work pretty good too. But you can kind of see, you have to like imagine this in your head. Where's going to be, you know, the top part, where's going to be like the brightest part of the whole model. And then I think like when it's facing upward, and I think when you like visualize it is when you kind of like get you can kind of picture, okay, this is where it needs to be getting like the brightest silver at, and this is where it needs to be like, you know, the darkest blue at essentially. And then you can kind of go from there. So, you know, a piece like this, it's easy. Obviously, you know, the bottom's dark and the top's bright. You know what I mean? Something like this, you know, obviously like that's the bottom, that's the top. That one, you know, anything that sits like upright, we're just essentially going to sit it upright. That's all we got to do. Remember, don't get scared by the work, because you do the work now and it makes everything look so much better later, because we're barely going to have to do like much touch-up paint to get everything like, you know, board worthy looking good. And then when we really do spend some time on it, it's going to look phenomenal, because we're going to have so many more layers, because we spent the time But you can kind of see as I stack them up there, if you would like be on the board now and you had like essentially these two barricades sitting next to each other, you know, it gives that extra depth just by having basically one side painted one color and the other side painted the other. And that's what we're going for. We're going for depth, quality, you know, and ease. Because we need to make sure we get, you know, a lot done for the amount of effort we put into it.